In this video, I wanted to present a quick tip for those of you who are like me who happen to have a laptop that you are using Daz Studio on. My content library has grown large enough that it can no longer fit on my hard drive along with all of my work-related content for my job. So what I ended up doing, instead of simply removing a bunch of stuff from the Daz Studio, is I decided to go ahead and to add an external drive and try to make it as seamless as I possibly could so that Daz Studio wouldn't have to be reconfigured and wouldn't even know that something has changed. So to accomplish this, I went and got myself an external Western Digital My Passport 512 gigabyte external SSD drive. The nice thing about this particular drive is it is an NVMe drive, just like the internal drive. So it's super fast, it's super small, and the cable can be plugged into either a normal USB port, USB 3 port, or to a USB-C port, because it comes with a little adapter that plugs into the end of the cable. I don't know if they show that in the picture. In this particular picture they don't, but this end here is actually detachable, and then it will plug into a USB-C port on a laptop. Okay, so what you can do is you can go into Daz Install Manager and to Daz Studio, and you can either change or add the folders to point to your external drive. The downside to doing that is, unfortunately, Daz Install Manager doesn't always necessarily play well with that. And I have not tried the new Daz download tool. I have it installed and I've tried it and I didn't care for it, so I decided it wasn't even worth trying to do this with it. Okay, now then, as I was saying, what I'm going to do to make this seamless is I'm going to go to my original Daz library folder, and I copied all of the contents off of this drive and pasted it onto my new portable external drive, as you can see here. Okay. The next thing you'll want to do, and just temporarily, just to demonstrate this, I'm going to go ahead and rename this. And then I'm going to create a new empty folder with the name that Daz Studio is expecting. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this PC and then do Manage, and that will bring up the Computer Manager, and click on Disk Management. Now when I scroll down to my drive, I can see my external drive P here. I'm going to right click, change drive letter and paths, and I'm going to click Add. And I'm going to mount in the following empty NTFS folder: Browse, Users, Public, Documents, My Daz 3D Library. And of course, make sure that you get the empty folder. Click OK, OK. And it spins for a few seconds. And now when I come back here, I can see the icon has changed. And when I go in, I'm now seeing the contents of my external drive, just as if it were actually still on the hard drive. So now then, when I launch Daz Studio, I can now go into my library, and as you can see, Daz Studio has no idea that anything has changed. So I can double click on one of my figures, and load them up. There we go. Now, as you can imagine, it might take a little bit longer to load from an external drive. The USB 3 is pretty close to the speeds of the SATA, if not a little faster in some cases. In my case, I have an NVMe drive internal, so that is obviously going to be faster than the external USB drive. However, this way I don't have to sacrifice the content that I have loaded onto my Daz Studio. I do sacrifice a little bit of speed, but I'd rather have the content than the speed as far as this goes. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you find this useful. Thank you.